Hi, my name is Mallika. I'm a reporter at money.com, and I'm so excited to have Danetha Doe with us here today. Danetha, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'd love to. Thank you so much, Mallika, for having me. I'm really looking forward to our conversation. My name is Danetha Doe. I'm a financial wellness educator and the creator of Money and Mimosas. Money and Mimosas is a wealth education company for folks who move to the beat of their own drum. I started it because I'm one of those people, and I was really looking for a resource that felt like it could help me build wealth in a way that was in alignment with my soul's purpose and what I feel I want to do with my money in the world.
So, Danetha, how did you take the plunge to take your creative pursuits and turn it into something that you could actually make money from?
I had been working in a career as an accountant, and I love accounting, I love finances, but I really felt like I couldn't bring my whole self to the table. I was locked in this box of just being a financial person that produced financial reports and knew how to read numbers, which is a great skill to have, but I had so much more to offer. I love to write, I love marketing, I love communications, I love thinking about PR strategy, I love branding, I love thinking about colors and fonts. None of that was under my job description. And in my life, I wanted a schedule that I could take a random Thursday off and take a yoga class or go to an art gallery. That's why I took the leap of faith. I knew that it was going to be unfair to any employer to ask for all of that. And the only way to create this non-traditional career path was if I created it myself. That's why I ultimately decided to leave my comfortable position and take this journey.
That's awesome. And taking the plunge to turn something that you're so passionate about into a business is really brave. And I'm wondering, other people might be really scared to take that plunge. I guess, what would you say to them?
I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy doing your own thing. It's very rewarding, but it's very challenging. So if you're in a space where you're fearful of taking that leap, just know that one, no time is the right time and no time is the wrong time either. You may be in a position where you have some savings saved up and you can confidently take that leap because you've got a financial safety net. That's great. Depending upon where you're at financially, it may be the right time. It may feel like it's not the right time, but just go ahead and take the leap, whatever time makes sense for you.
Got it. And when you are ready to take that leap, what's the first step that you can do?
I would say is to assess what skills you have. So I know as a creative and many creatives that I speak to, we've got a lot of skills and a lot of passions and a lot of talents. What I did when I first started was just write down everything that I could bring to the table. I'm a writer, I can do some video editing, I'm a financial professional, so I can do bookkeeping, financial management. I wrote all those skills down and then figured out how those skills could help a business. What problem were they solving? Start by writing out a list, figure out what problem that solves for another business, and then from there, make a list of 10 potential clients. Maybe it's 10 potential clients in one vertical, or it's 10 potential clients in a particular space that you're passionate about, and then put on your calendar the times that you're going to reach out and pitch yourself.
And you have obviously done this right. You're running a successful business, but what are some of the mistakes that you see the freelancers or creative entrepreneurs who want to take this step do?
You're very generous. I don't know if I've done everything right, but some of those mistakes, some of the missteps that I've seen other freelancers or creatives take is not thinking about their financial foundation when they first start their business. A lot of folks will think about the look and the feel of their brand or their website or the services they provide, which is absolutely important. I wish I had thought about that sooner, my branding and marketing. But what I did think about was, how do I want to structure the way I earn money so that I'm not burning myself out and I'm not compromising my values? I say as soon as you spend your first dollar on your business, you need to be tracking how much you're spending. So set up a bookkeeping program and have a weekly money date where you're looking at your books, looking at your finances. And that will help save you so much headache and hassle. You're not going to have all the answers at the very beginning. That's what being an entrepreneur is about. However, if you give thought to it, you'll save yourself headaches and other stresses later on.
So like you talked about, money is top of mind for a lot of people who are thinking about doing this, but there are so many other aspects that they need to consider, like saving for retirement or healthcare. What would you tell people who are really worried about that?
When you become a full-time freelancer, a full-time creative, it is overwhelming in the beginning. However, just know that other people have figured it out and you are more than capable of figuring it out as well. We do have a healthcare program here in the United States that is favorable for independent contractors and freelancers. It's far from perfect. There are a lot of things that need to be changed. It needs to be more affordable. I can go on for days about that. There are opportunities when you apply for health insurance through healthcare.gov to qualify for credits. Go there, check out the options, and just run the numbers. I guarantee you'll find something that will work for you. The other piece is retirement. Retirement can be challenging because, again, all of it's on your shoulders. You don't have a 401k plan where an employer is matching your contributions. However, there are retirement accounts and plans that are available to freelancers. So we have the solo 401k, there's SEP IRA, there's a traditional IRA, the Roth IRA. And what's great about all of these options is that as a freelancer independent contractor, all of your investments are self-directed, which means if you really care about the environment or sustainability or social responsibility, you have more opportunities to structure your retirement investings to match those values. As opposed to when you're working for a company, a lot of those investments within your 401k are pre-selected and chosen for you, and you don't have much wiggle room to align those investments with your values.
Are there things that you do to kind of keep yourself on track? You know, you're your own boss. You don't have someone setting your schedule for you, telling you what to do. So how do you kind of keep yourself doing that work yourself?
Time management is a big skill to learn as a freelancer. You certainly learn it working within a company as well. But like you said, Mallika, there is no structure when you take that leap to go out on your own. You know, if you struggle with time management or this is your first time, there's the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique is where you work for 25 minutes and then you take 5 minutes off. I've tweak that. Now I work 45 minutes on and take 15 minutes off. Try a tool, see how it works for you, and then expand from there. The first place I would start is nailing down your morning routine. Setting yourself up for success from the beginning of the day has done wonders for me. And sometimes the beginning of the day starts the night before. So the night before, I write out my schedule, I figure out what I have going on. You can try the first hour of your day to be committed to some sort of meditation, whatever that looks like for you, something that grounds you, then getting a workout in, and then maybe you look at your emails after that. Try that on for size and then go from there.
So it also seems like when you're starting out, you'd be super eager to say yes to everything. You want as many clients as you want. You're worried about income consistency. How do you tell yourself, I can only do so much and sometimes I have to say no? And how do you determine when you do have to say no?
I definitely took on every single project that came my way in the very beginning. I'm not sure if that was great for my work-life balance, but I definitely wanted to just get the ball rolling in my business and start generating consistent income. I was concerned that money may run out. These projects, opportunities may not come my way again. So I totally understand the eagerness. And I don't dismiss that. I wouldn't say I would have done it differently, but I would have kept that in mind in terms of how many projects can I take on so that I can make the money that I need to make, but also not burn myself out. That's always a question to ask yourself. And I didn't ask myself that in the beginning. And when you're trying to figure out what works in terms of balancing all of the opportunities coming your way and also your work-life balance and then making money, it's going to be something you just have to tweak as you grow. For instance, I now know how long it takes me to write a 1,000-word article. When I first started, I had no clue how long that would take. And it probably took me double, maybe triple as long because I was learning how to be a writer and learning my research style and my whole process for writing. I share that because in the beginning, you're going to take longer and you have to figure out your own cadence with your work. And then as you grow, you'll start to refine and tweak it and know how much you can reasonably take on and what you'll need to say no to.
So it seems like there's a lot to think about when it comes to actually starting a business and taking something that you're passionate about and making money off of it. Do you actually have to have an LLC LLC? Or are there any other types of rules that people need to know when it comes to actually starting a business?
When you first start a business, you do have to file your business, meaning you have to make it legitimate, quote unquote, in the government's eyes. And there are different entity structures that you can choose from to make it, quote unquote, legitimate. One of those is an LLC. Another common one is the sole proprietorship. Depending upon the type of business you have, the industry you're in, there are a lot of factors that will determine which entity structure is the best one for you. An LLC or an LLC S Corp is another one that's really popular. I recommend electing for that entity when you are in an industry where you need legal protection. A client could sue you if they're unhappy with your services or products. That is necessary then to incorporate your business from a legal perspective. And the reason for that is because the LLC separates you as the individual from the business. So if anything goes wrong with the business, folks can only come after the business assets, not your personal assets. Whereas the sole proprietorship, there's no distinction between you and the business. You're essentially one and the same when it comes to how the government views your business and how it would be viewed in any legal situation. The sole proprietorship is a really great option, and it's really great too because it's less expensive to maintain and there's less paperwork with the sole proprietorship. Generally speaking, I typically recommend folks incorporate their business, become an LLC, an S Corp, when they've reached $70,000 in gross revenues in their business. Once you hit that mark, then you start to see the tax benefits that the LLC provides. Before then, it doesn't necessarily make sense to go through all the paperwork and the fee to maintain it to incorporate.
And you work with creative entrepreneurs and freelancers all the time who are trying to do this on their own with your business, Money and Mimosas. Can you tell us a little bit more about what Money and Mimosa offers and how people who are interested can get started with it?
So Money and Mimosas, it's a wealth education company for the self-employed. You are passionate about creating wealth on your own terms and you don't want to follow a cookie cutter plan to do it. However, you do want some information on how to make it happen. So we have a couple of ways that you can learn from us in order to do that. One is our Moneymakers membership. This is for folks who are ready to commit to building wealth. You get access to folks that are wealth advisors and other financial professionals that typically only work with high net worth individuals. There's a lot of information that's kept in certain circles, and if you're not in those right circles, you may not get access to that information. And that is the ethos of Moneymakers, is to bring that information to more folks. And especially if you care about sustainability and aligning your wealth with your values. The other way to work with us is through our digital programs. So we have a series called Level Up, and one of the popular ones is Level Up. It's our 5-day money mindset challenge. So this is for folks that have a traditional middle-class money mindset and they're looking to transform and elevate that to the next level and really be in a place where you're not only making the money you want to be making, but you're building wealth in a way that's having a positive impact on the world.
So you've given us a lot of really good advice here. I'm wondering if there's any advice that you've heard financial experts giving creatives that is not such good advice.
I love all financial experts. I have a lot of respect for everyone in the space. However, sometimes I feel like the advice is pre-21st century, or it's coming from a place where they don't really understand the creative approach to life. One specific advice that I would hear often given to creatives that I would just cringe is paying off all of your debt before you start your business. We live in a time where the majority of millennials have student loan debt. We're being told that we need to completely pay off that debt before we start living our life. If you're putting off future earnings, building wealth so that you can pay off debt in the meantime, you're losing time to really figure out how to make money as a creative. I would encourage everyone to think critically about any financial advice you've been given up until this point. point, because a lot of it, from my perspective, has been designed to keep us as cogs in a machine. And if you want to get out of the machine, you're going to have to think differently. You're going to have to buck the system and go against the status quo.
Is there any financial advice that you've taken on your journey that has been really helpful for you? The best piece of financial advice that you've received?
A lot of it has been around trusting my gut. I've had some really great mentors that tried to really instill that in me. Instead of telling me what to do, they would ask me questions about what feels right, allowing me to try different things. And, maybe I failed, maybe I didn't. But along the way, I would have a stronger intuition, a stronger gut sense about what works. One of the best pieces of advice, oddly enough, came in a dream. The message was, don't worry about making the right decision. Trust that you'll make the decision right. That came through so clearly, and it's what I live by. And I think it would be helpful to other folks too. Don't worry about making the right decision. Just trust yourself that you're going to figure it out and you're going to make it right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Danetha. This was really great conversation. I'm sure you helped a lot of people of Money's audience who are, nervous about taking that step. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Mallika. You are one of my favorite people to talk to.
I appreciate that. Hope to have you back soon.